Hey, there we go. After an adventure of trying to figure out what the heck was going on with the stinking tech, we are here. Randy Young along with Brian Davis, Jamie Maders, also joined by the tech master himself tonight, Mr. Casey Massey. And we are thrilled that you guys are with us.
And we're also thrilled he's with us, too, because we wouldn't have got it going.
We're about to throw the thing on the floor and stomp on it and see if that helps. That's always a good thing. Or beat on it with the ring. That always seems to help, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. A new one.
But we are excited to be here tonight. We're going to kind of give a review of the 2023 state championship for Thomas County Central as they defeat Woodward Academy 49-28. We're going to hear from Coach Justin Rogers. Now, I will apologize to all of you folks because we are not going to be able to talk to Coach Rogers live. Coach Rogers is working at the basketball game tonight. Central and Thomasville are playing each other at Central's gym, and he is working that game. But we do have a real good little interview with him I think you guys are totally going to enjoy that we pre-recorded. We're going to take a look at our seniors because, man alive, what a fantastic year for these seniors, and what an experience of extremes those seniors have enjoyed in the last couple of years. And then we're going to look ahead a little bit and talk about what's coming back and the potential for what we may be looking at for 2024 season. But first off, Jamie, thanks for being here, buddy.
Awesome.
Yeah, feels good.
Missed it, man.
Feels good.
And anybody out there that's at the basketball game, if you would, maybe text us a little score here and there.
Yeah, if you're there, let us know. And Brian, are you going to keep up with the questions from Facebook?
I'll take a look at Facebook.
Yeah. And thank you for being here, Brian.
Yeah, of course.
And Casey Massey with the real good microphone down there.
Hey, now.
You're a rock star.
That's it.
Yeah, something.
That's it.
Hey, you talking about basketball tonight. This is the first game, I think, tonight that our football players that couldn't play basketball because they were playing football can actually play basketball tonight. So that will be a much needed thing too for
boost for
your basketball team.
Hopefully they don't confuse the two sports. That might not be real good.
Well, it would get interesting real quick.
Yeah, we'd have more flags than we had in the third quarter of that state championship game. But
no way.
Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not. And if you guys on YouTube or Facebook have got any questions, please just share them, and we appreciate Kevin Rain Man Reese, the man, the myth, the legend, tuning in up there on Facebook, and also everybody else that's tuning in tonight. Guys, first off, let's congratulate the team, congratulate the coaches and the fans for a fantastic night. Jamie, of course, it took forever for us to get the game started because we had a triple overtime game, 2 games before us. But we started playing it on Tuesday and ended up winning the state championship on Wednesday morning. That was pretty cool.
Awesome, man. The games got a little delayed because of the overtime game, the first game of the day. But, man, what a great day at the Mercedes-Benz. And, man, a great place to play football. Wow. It's just got on there late, like you said, and was able to get the W.
Yep.
Even though we got it on Wednesday. Hey, y'all had a lot of time to talk about different things, you and Brian.
Man
alive.
Yeah.
Y'all both hoarse.
And that was that the longest broadcast you've ever done?
No. The one that we had the rain delay against Americus up here that night where we were here until 2 a.m. trying to get lightning delay in. That's the longest that I've ever. And that was one, the game was delayed for like 3 hours because of lightning, and you talk about trying to fill time. I remember coming to you about 1,000 times saying, well, Jamie, down in the field, I said, what are we hearing? What are we hearing? And you're going, I don't know.
Well,
anyway,
everybody had a radar out. And, man, we had it covered.
Yep, you're right. Yeah, I know it was a long tailgate show. It was the best we could do. But as it turned out, kind of a historic because I think it's the first time that the state championship has ever been won over the course of 2 days.
Yeah.
But bottom line, fantastic game, Brian. Our guys showed up. I mean, from the moment we stepped on the field, we had control of it, never really gave up on it.
We talked about how important it was that we established a run game, and if we could get that done against what we thought was a really dominant Woodward front, we could dictate the game. Well, we didn't hesitate at all to establish a run game, and we dictated the game just based upon that alone. And I'm going to tell you, the most complete game, and we talked about it before, it felt a lot like the Bambridge game because it was really just on both sides of the ball. You felt really good about it, but it was just so focused. They had focus, and you could just tell going in that every bit of what we did was what we wanted to do,
Yep.
honestly.
Yep. Let me take a second, too, and thank our sponsors for tonight. CNS Next, now offering internet speeds up to 1 gig. CNS Next, your proud local service provider. Curls Land Development, doing site prep, ponds, land clearing, mulching. Matt Mills, big Yellow Jacket fan. 221-2291. 221-2291. Next Gen Window Tinting. Grayson Tootin, who's a big part of the Majors group.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Grayson's a good Yellow Jacket as well. 692-9393. 692-9393. Lewis Insurance, Jason Lewis as always. And Southern Quality Propane. South Georgia, North Florida's local independent propane leader. They have the energy solutions to meet your needs at home, work, or on the farm. 855-430-1099. Again, 855-430-1099. Thanks to all those folks for making this possible. Jamie, the biggest thing to me going into the game, we knew Woodward was going to be pretty sporty defensively. In fact, we're going to talk to Coach Rogers. Everybody was expecting it to be a defensive battle. But apparently, the way we matched up far better than it felt we were going to match up going in.
Right. Their defensive front was supposed to be really good, and we were kind of thinking we would probably have to throw the ball a lot more. But then we get the good kickoff return, and then in two running plays, we score a touchdown. And I'm thinking, hey, maybe we just seen a good game or something. But I think, as everybody knows, Coach Rogers, he don't watch one game; he watches about whatever.
Yeah, as many as there are. Yeah,
so, and not just once.
Right.
So we were very prepared, and being in the locker room before the game, not only was our broadcast folks having to
fill time,
but can you imagine having that energy bottled up and getting ready to play a state championship football game and having to just wait it out? So but there was an extreme amount of focus in that locker room. There was hardly a peep in there. It was very quiet. It was very subdued.
very focused.
It was very focused.
Yeah.
And when Coach Rogers called them up, it didn't take them long.
Yeah.
It was time. And but man, what an awesome experience for our freshman guys that got to go, and all our guys, and Eugene Brooks up there. Let's run it back. I'm with you, dude. I'm with you. Let's run it back.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a little bit. Overall, the experience inside Mercedes-Benz was quite pleasant.
Absolutely.
I was pleasantly surprised. I mean, of course, it's been a long time since we've been up there and played in that situation, and I know the times that we were there in the early 2000s, 2002, 2003, a lot of the folks that were inside that dome that were workers just really didn't care about it. But this bunch, this time, they seemed much more genuinely engaged and much more willing to help. I will say to our fans, my gosh, how you showed out. I don't think they were prepared. In fact, one young lady that was up around the media area where we were set up, I had an opportunity to thank her for everything that they had done to make it so smooth for us, because, I mean, it really was kind of seamless. I mean, we walked in, we set up, and we were good to go the rest of the night.
When we walked in, we didn't really know what to expect. We were told that we would probably be coming in behind somebody, and so we were just kind of looking to set our stuff down. But when we got there, we realized we had our own booth all to ourselves, and we could go ahead and set up. Well, it was a good thing because we were, going to be on there for a while, but just so cool. I mean, so appreciative of the time they took to kind of line everything up, and everything was right. And just you talking about a Cadillac of a suite too that we were in. That's just cool.
Yep, a lot of preparation that went into it.
But I think the problem came about.
Bring him up a little bit on three, if you don't mind.
The problem came about that Perry had not won a state championship.
Yep.
Coffee had not won a state championship.
Yep.
And it had been 26 years since we won one.
Yep.
So it was like it was all like brand new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everybody's fan base were really excited and engaged.
Yep. And Coffee County brought a tremendous amount of people.
Yep.
Perry brought a tremendous amount of people, and of course
Thomas County Central
showed up and showed out.
Well, I found out they had
changing the rule books.
Yeah, I found out they had to open up the end zones.
Yeah.
So people can sit toward the end of Perry.
Yeah.
Because they wasn't expecting 10,000 Thomas County people to show up.
Well, I think, too, they employed the procedures that they had been using at Georgia State Stadium And the thought of 5,000 or 6,000 fans having to wait in the wings until the previous game is over with to be able to get sat, that created a huge issue. And I'm very thankful. We were walking around just trying to find something to do at times, and the number of people that were down waiting to get in, it was incredible. And the thought crossed my mind, if there was some sort of medical emergency here,
It would have been.
it would have been a mess. I don't know what they would have done. But where I was headed, the young lady that I spoke with up there, she said that they were not prepared for that many people. And after the fact, whenever we hear, last year at Georgia State, there were around 26,000 or so total fans.
Yeah.
There were well over 50,000 fans for this one. So you're talking at least double the number of fans.
Yeah.
So if all those procedures that they were using were coming from Georgia State Stadium, they'll have to revisit that.
Well, and I think what a lot of it was too, you look at Georgia State Stadium compared to the Dome. Well, one is an open air stadium. And
That's
last year
right.
it was so cold and things like that. Well, you get in the Dome, you can get there early. You just want to stay and watch football games.
Yep.
And so you get to that point, you're just like, well, I'll just make a day of it. Versus where there, you're like, I'm gonna get in and watch my game and get
I'm
out.
gone. That's right.
And,
And see, they had it set up to where 129C was for our fans.
right.
For us to kind of stage until the game was over, and then we could move into position.
It was-
129C didn't hold them.
It wasn't
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah.
It wasn't enough.
So, I
Yep.
mean,
Wasn't
it-
close.
Yep. So I think, again, it was a learning experience for Mercedes-Benz. I will say, too, that for all of the folks that were saying, golly, I can't believe we're playing this on a Tuesday, the fact that there were 52,000 people that went in there Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I can just about guarantee you that's going to be the setup from this point forward.
Yeah.
Now, and it is so inconvenient for the South Georgia schools. Now, thank goodness Dr. Lisa Williams and the powers that be inside the circle here at Thomas County Central had the foresight to give everybody Tuesday and Wednesday, because if some chance they had said, okay, Tuesday you got, but Wednesday you got to be back, people were getting home at 5:30 in the morning.
I know several people that literally got home and went to work.
Yeah. I mean, they get home and the sun's coming up.
Well,
And that would not have worked with school.
well, that's just another, like Coach Rogers said at the celebration, another testament of our
The support.
the support that we have
Right.
to see the foresight
Yep.
to make sure that
Yep.
those things are handled so more people can attend.
Yeah. But even Perry, they went to school till lunch on Tuesday. Then they sent their folks to the Dome, and then they were in school Wednesday, because you're talking a 2-hour drive. Well, for us, a 4-hour drive, that makes a big difference. So
Absolutely.
our fans just probably, and hopefully this will be the first of some more to come, just need to kind of get that in your brain that based on the success of this, I doubt very seriously it's going to be moved to the weekend.
Well, and you look at the cost.
Yep.
It is much cheaper to have it during the week there, actually, to rent
Yep.
the stadium
Yep.
than it is to have a Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yep, no question. And we had some folks asking about the questionable calls that were done during the third period stretch. And anybody that was there or watched it or listened to it know exactly what I'm talking about. 28-7 at the half, and they score on the last play of the first half. And you kind of felt like if that had not happened, Jamie, the game's pretty much over. They get that drive to start the second half, and it almost felt like there was a conscious effort, almost like we're looking for anything that we can call here to try to keep it close. And I'll share with you what was shared with me from Joe Burns. Joe was on the sidelines, which, by the way, if Joe's watching or listening, thanks for a fantastic lunch.
Absolutely.
That was so cool.
One of the best.
Yeah, we had lunch with Joe and his dad, Joe Frank Sr., who calls himself the original Joe Burns.
Absolutely.
I'll be there next year, Joe. I promise.
don't
you.
worry.
I promise. you.
Oh, it was good. That steak was good, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
We
Absolutely.
learned through this whole thing that the recipe for success is for Jamie Majors to have a steak pregame.
It all hinges on that, because the last time he didn't
That
have a
and
steak was
cookies.
Roswell. Well, and now Linda
I
Pearson's
didn't even want to
cooking.
bring that up.
And now Linda Pearson's cooking. She's done it. I'm sorry, Linda. You've done it. And we didn't instigate the cookie thing.
No.
But that is a part of the lore now. But anyway, we're
Sure
always
didn't
headed.
But it was
upset any
good
of
now.
us.
Golly, man.
It's hard to talk after that.
Well, Little Debbie Christmas cake stuffed sugar cookies.
Don't do that again.
What in the heck? Are you kidding me? But anyway,
Bring peace to the Middle East.
Yeah.
Golly.
the Gaza Strip just shuts down for the cookies. But anyway,
Cookies were incredible.
They were.
yeah, fantastic. But Joe is standing next to one of the athletic directors of one of the teams that was playing, and that sequence where we had all those weird penalties and everything that was, and the Stockbridge. Well, I let the cat out of the bag. The Stockbridge athletic director looked at Joe and said, "They don't want a 56-7 game here. That would not be a good look for the Georgia High School Association." So it almost felt like, and I think everybody that was there felt like a conscious effort was trying to be made to try to keep it as close as possible. But every single time, guys, our team did not blink. We get the ball right after they score. It's 28-14, and you're thinking, okay. We go right down the field in 3 plays, and now we score. It's 35-14, and every time something happened to go sideways, our guys just said, hey, we got it.
Hey, when we scored after that it was like 10,000 pounds had been lifted off our shoulders.
Yeah.
It was just it felt like at that point, okay, we got this. That nobody's going to turn us away from it at this point because you've done everything you could do.
But it didn't surprise you any because it happened all year.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
Hey, turn him up some more, too.
So,
we can't hear him. There you go.
it didn't. We just didn't blink a lot of times during the year. You know,
Yeah.
a lot of times that we face a little adversity and boom, here we come.
Well, I wrote my newspaper column about that Saturday. The thing about this team to me that made them so unique was it was a team leadership. Zeke Bogan in the tailgate show for the state championship game shared the story about the lateral play that happened with Marist that was a potential disaster with Trey Brenton. I mean, we were all kind of confused as to what was going on there, and Marist strips the ball out of his hands. They've got it down at about our 40-yard line. We're ahead 13-7. I mean, again, a potentially disastrous situation. And several of our coaches kind of went to their knees in just total frustration, I guess. And the players were helping the coaches up and patting them and saying, Coach, we got this. Your defense, we're going to go get the ball back. They're not going to score. We got this. For the players to be doing that, it speaks to the level of confidence that they have been coached up to.
Absolutely.
You just don't see that at the high school level. You don't see it at the college level.
No.
Anyway, amazing job by our fans, our coaches, our players. What I want to do right now is we've got this recorded interview from Coach Rogers, and I guess what we could do, Casey, I don't know if we can throw the graphic. Oh, well, we can listen to it. I mean, we can listen to it.
The graphic.
We're going to listen to an interview here with Coach Justin Rogers, where he's going to talk about the game experience, and then we'll come back and we'll talk some more amongst ourselves. Randy Young here with Coach Rogers. Coach Justin Rogers, the head coach of the Yellow Jackets, as we are going to talk a little bit about the state championship game and give folks a little look, I don't want to say ahead, but just talking a little bit in the future. But, Coach, first off, congratulations, man. What a fantastic game from you guys.
Oh, thank you. Like I say, I thought the kids picked a great night to play one of the best games I've seen them play.
Yeah, no doubt. And I want to ask you this because I went into the game expecting a real slugfest defensive type battle. Man, we came right out. I mean, and immediately Coach just took control. What happened there? I mean, did they just play beyond your expectations? Did Woodward do something that we were able to exploit? I mean, I was expecting it to be a 20-13 type game.
Yeah, no, I did too. Now I thought it was going to be that type of game. I said first 1 to 20 probably wins because I thought both defenses were good. I did think we had a good game plan. You saw us do a lot of trades and shifts that you hadn't ever seen us do.
Yep.
To try to get some matchups, and I think early on you saw those matchups going to be favorable. We just didn't know how favorable they would be.
Right.
And so they round up early on. You hit 2 big runs right there, right off the gate on some of those, and then the other stuff, was we thought we had some really good shots planned out for them down the field, and you just needed Jalen to play good. And like I say, Jalen Johnson played his best game of the year, both throwing it and running it. And so when you add that to it, where you had some good matchups and you hit your shots, I mean, you got a chance to be explosive on offense.
And you realize you may have set a record state championship, a record for the number of sacks in a game, too. Now, you realize that.
Ain't no doubt. Now, they turned it into a 7-on-7 game, and just decided they wasn't going to run the ball. And so they threw it, I think, every snap, but I think it was 11 snaps that was a run play. And everything else was pass plays. So they gave us a lot of opportunities to go rush the passer, and that's something our D-line and linebackers do really well with our blitz packages. And so you did see that, just an unbelievable amount of pressure on them.
And we would be remiss without talking about the fact that we started the game on a Tuesday, we won it on a Wednesday, and half of Thomas County was right there pulling for you, man. That was incredible.
Yeah, ain't that the dangest thing?
Yep.
And so, yeah, because I'm sitting there when game's over with, basically, and he calls timeout to try to get a garbage touchdown in late. And that's when I look at my watch, and I'm like, "That's 12:02. You can't call no timeout after midnight." And,
there should be a rule there.
Yeah, I told the officials you throw a flag on him for that. And but yeah, so it was crazy. You started one day, ended another day.
Well, that's okay. It got in the hip pocket. We were able to bring it home. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, at that moment, I don't think nobody mattered. I mean, everybody was good. They didn't care.
You're right, but
everybody was so happy.
Well, they had set the timer on the lights to go off at 11:30, so they weren't expecting it. I can tell you that.
No, timer on the lights works. We checked it, so it's good to go.
Well, Coach, a magical season, bottom line, and I know that you have said that you knew, again, this was a rebuild. It was a return, not a rebuild when you got here. But, man, the buy-in from these kids and the buy-in from this community, it's really been unlike anything I've ever seen, Coach. And it's really a testament to you and the coaching staff, guys. Just incredible.
Well, it's a testament to a lot of things. I mean, I think it is a testament to the commitment and the work that the coaches on staff and the players that put together, the trust between each other, both coaches trusting players, but then really players trusting us as we come in. But it's also a testament to just how great this community is.
Yeah.
I mean, the support from the community, I mean, you felt that from day one. I mean, when we got here, with the coaches got here, we did introductions, and the first spring when we went to Perry, that very first spring, just the travel and the fans then, you know.
Yep.
And so I say all that to say, me and my wife were talking about it, like this fan base and this community, it doesn't feel transactional.
Right.
Like, it doesn't feel like the support is because you're winning. The support is because you did this. It just comes off so genuine and pure that it's a support because of the love of their school and the love of these boys. And that's how it comes across. And that's special.
Oh,
and
no
so
question.
I think that's more a testimony to this school. And again, that's why I always said is, I mean, from an outsider looking in, I always thought this was just a special, special place. Just from having to play down here before as an opponent to living right here beside the community and now getting an inside glimpse on it, I realized I was 100% correct. It is a special place.
Well, and let me say this, Coach. Every now and then, and you know this, I mean, if you look at fantastic programs throughout history, it just seems like there are times when you've got the right folks in the right place at the right time. And I think God had a hand in this. Now, you took a convoluted route, but I think you've ended up exactly where you were supposed to be.
Amen. I agree totally, because I can remember at Jones even kicking the tires on applying for this job when it came open the first time. And we didn't feel like the timing was right at that time to do it. And timing is everything in life. I mean, that stuff matters. No different than why a timing belt matters in a car.
Yep.
You want to run an optimal performance. And so I do think a lot of things just hit right at the right time from the talented players we had, the coaches we were able to bring in that were looking to transition at the time we were building a staff.
Right.
And so you're looking to do that, and then just the hunger and passion that this community had wanting to get it back. And so all those things lined up beautifully together and just fit right in together like gears in a clock.
And I would be remiss without talking about Tuesday night there at the stadium, the celebration thing. That was just awesome. You look up in the stands, and again, you've got about 3,000 or so Yellow Jacket fans in the coldest night of the year. Very special night. That was cool.
No, it was extremely cool. Like that, that was so neat, and just a good fitting way to end it, especially being back at the nest.
Oh, man.
You hadn't played there in so long, early November. And so it was a special night that I'll cherish.
And Coach, let me thank you personally. You have been just as accessible and made yourself available to do all of this stuff, all this audio, video stuff that we've done through the course of the year. And I know it's been a pain in the rear end, but I just wanted to tell you personally, I appreciate it.
No, absolutely. Heck, I'd be on there live tonight, but I'm going to keep the clock for the Thomasville Central game. I got the JV clock today, and then I'm going to watch that ball game, or I'd come on live for sure.
Let me ask you this real quick, and I know that we just got this one in our hip pocket, but, you know, the future's bright, Coach. There's a lot of talent still coming back and a lot of talent coming up.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, like I say, this county's always produced talent. I mean, a lack of talent has never been a issue. I mean, you go look at the amount of players that's went on to college, the amount of players that have went on to play to the pros. I mean, it's a very unique place in the development of talent, and it's here. You know, we've got some young classes, got a middle school that just went undefeated and won the championship in their league. So the future is extremely bright. We feel very strong on being able to keep our coaches together because, again, that's an important deal is keeping this staff together.
Yep.
Big Ed kept the core of his staff together for that run. And you look at Clemson, and they kept the core of their staff together. The only outlier there is what Saban did at Alabama. He did it with a bunch of different people.
Right.
But usually there's a core that stays together for a long period of time. And so as long as we can keep that with the talent that's here in the administration, keeping this administration intact, I think that's important.
Yeah.
And you keep that, I think you got a chance to have a really special run right now.
Coach, I'm going to let you close it out because I know you want to say something to the community to just thank them again for everything they've done for you this year and for the team.
Hey, well, the biggest thing is, thank you so much, just for the way they travel, the way they cheer. And I keep saying the way that they're active participants because that matters. They're part of the game. Now, we don't set the bar high, and I recognize that as a coach that we've set the bar high, with the record and the success we've had. So we got to take it up a notch. But now you done set the bar high too, fans.
Yep.
That's like now they ought to, you got rules getting made up. You got to get ready to step your game up next year.
Well, they've got a reputation. They got a reputation
you got a year to
now.
be thinking about it. You got a reputation to uphold. That's right.
It.
You got to live up to that, baby. So you got a year to figure out, how are you going to up your horn game? All right, and how are we going to take this to the next level? So
that
just like
me.
we're starting off-season program here, 1st of January to start training for next year. All right, I'm going to need these fans. Y'all got to start thinking, like, what do we got in store next?
Oh, man, you're scaring me, Coach. You're scaring me.
Oh, me too. I can't wait to see it, because this was all from the fans. It started in the Veterans game. It's kind of when the horn first showed up in that game when we played up there at Perry, and it's just kind of taken a life of its own, and it's awesome. So, like I say, fans, I love you. I've been so appreciative of you. Can't wait to see what you got planned next year.
Well, and I want to let them in on a little trade secret here, Coach. And I'm not telling anything that isn't knowledge now, but Coach Rogers thinks so much of those horns. He packed about 100 of them or so. I heard in some of the football stuff that got snuck into the dome.
That's allegedly. Allegedly.
That's allegedly. Okay.
Allegedly.
There's a rumor. It's rumored. That's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
I've heard the rumor. I don't know. I can't confirm. I can't deny. I can't.
Coach, hey, thank you so much, man. Merry Christmas to you. Oh, and I had a very important question from let me find this piece of paper from a Melissa Rogers here that asked where y'all are going on vacation.
I don't know. We need to go somewhere. I probably should have.
She's earned it. She's earned it.
You dang right. And not only Melissa, and I'm so blessed with by all our wives.
Yeah.
If you see wives out there, tell them thank you.
Yep.
Because these wives let these coaches live a dream, and they become single moms for half a year as we get to chase our dream of coaching ball and being in these other young people's lives.
Yep.
And so coaches' wives are special, and I definitely got a special one in Melissa, and I'm so thankful for her for allowing me to do this, but I'm thankful for all those wives.
Yep.
They never really get enough thank you.
You're right.
For the sacrifice they make.
Yep, no doubt. Coach, hey, man, Merry Christmas to y'all. Thank you again, and we'll be checking in with you soon.
Yes, sir. Go Jackets, and Merry Christmas to everybody out there.
Amen. Thank you, Coach. Yeah, switch us there, Casey. How cool was that?
That was awesome.
Yeah, he can't confirm the rumor about the horns, and he can't deny it. So, again, he's just pleading the fifth and just move on.
I just know there was a bag that stunk and it had some horns in it. That's what I heard.
Well, and we're being asked about the horn thing, and to be honest with you right now, I have no clue what's going to happen with that. There's been a lot of talk about it. I don't see how that can be legislated. It is part of soccer culture. You go to a soccer game, you're going to see them. The thing that was unusual is that just about every other team that played up there at Mercedes-Benz, some of their fans had them.
Had a
Oh,
few.
yeah, yeah.
Had a few.
They weren't just they're wanting the horns of Jericho like
Well,
you guys are bringing. Just saying.
Well, I'll say in the Walton game, the nightcap of Wednesday night.
Yeah, the 7A game.
I'll just have you know that most of those people in the Walton stands had their cowbells.
Well,
Wow.
You tell me how theirs could get through on Wednesday, but ours couldn't. So,
Somebody said it's going to be
But
the
anyway.
jacket rule. It's going to say just our name.
But again, I don't know how you
No, you
legislate that. I mean, and I think Coach Rogers kind of made the comment walking off the field when Georgia Public Television was interviewing him at the half of our game. Football's supposed to be a fun atmosphere. And it is the first time in my experience, and I have been around a lot of football over the last God knows how many years, it's the first time I've ever seen coaches complaining about the noise level in their own stadiums. I've never seen it before. So, Jacket Nation, you guys.
well, I've never seen fans from other schools put out messages saying it was so awesome
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, yeah.
that they wish we could play them every year.
Well, Rome, and I wish I knew who this gentleman was because and it was shared with me apparently on one of the sports events or something. One of the Rome fans said, "I don't care if you guys come up here and kick our rear ends every year. We want you to come up here and play because this was awesome. This was a electric high school football atmosphere." So again, salute to the Jacket Nation. You guys have raised the bar.
Absolutely.
And you heard the challenge from Coach Rogers. You got to up your game. Now, I don't want to hear a thing. Y'all don't message me and say, "Hey, let's try this." No. We're not getting in that.
We'll hear it when we hear it.
Well, hold on. You're retired, so
What?
what can they do to you?
No, I'm just saying. I don't. Yeah, you're right. But anyway, just again, fantastic job, fans. Let's take just a moment, guys. Well, you got a question or something up there? No, we do not need to call our state representative.
She already knows. Don't worry about it.
Darlene Taylor's on top of it, I promise you. She's on our side. And I really think that most of the athletic directors and coaches in the state would be too. Let's just be honest. Just being honest now. So,
Well, we got Robin Hines retiring too.
no, we'll leave it right there.
I said it.
Let's
Your best friend.
let's take a moment here and guys recognize our seniors. Because you're talking about a group of young men here with these seniors. 24 months ago, they walk off the field after having gone through the worst loss in our program history, a 59-0 loss in the playoffs to Benedictine. And here, 2 years later, they are state champions. So you have gone, this senior class has literally gone from one extreme to the other. And they have stayed as true and as faithful as any group I have ever seen in my life. Because it would have been very easy, guys, walking off the field that night for half of these guys to just hoist the white flag and say, what are we doing? And why are we doing this? But I think when Coach Rogers and this coaching staff arrived, there was a light bulb that came on, and all of those pieces started falling into place. And it clicked. And, I mean, the last year, a 12-1 record, of course, we lose to Roswell.
Didn't eat my steak.
What's that? What was that?
Didn't eat my steak.
Well, you didn't eat your steak. That was the problem. But I think the lesson learned from that Roswell game paid dividends for this particular group because they never let up.
Absolutely.
And in the Roswell game, we had a 24-6 lead at the half. We led 31-13 with about 5 minutes to go in the third quarter, and it just fell apart because we kind of hit cruise control a little bit. And when you lose that momentum and combine it with a couple of key injuries to guys that happened in the secondary that night, it snowballed, and our guys could not stop it. This year, because of that confidence that we were talking about earlier and the experience of having gone through that, these guys were not going to let that happen. And I salute them.
The difference to me was how we handled momentum swings. When everything started going right for another team, it was like we were not phased at all. Versus, I mean, if you told anybody, football is probably at least 70% emotion sometime, and you're talking like for instance at Marist, that whole sequence that the ball, it's crazy how it all played out and
The lateral sequence, yeah.
And you just don't blink at time and time again. I've never seen any team on any level handle those momentum swings like we did.
Well, you got to look at last year.
Yeah.
Yep.
We go to Lee County, and we get down 10-0.
Mm-hmm.
In a game everybody thought we were going to lose.
Right.
And I'm sure that you've heard this before. Hey, let's just get out there. Let's let the game settle in. Let them throw their best punches.
Yeah.
Let it settle in. Let the game come to us. It seemed like the game came to us.
Right.
Yep.
But it would have been very easy to be up there. And
Yeah.
just to say, "Whoa,
Panic.
these guys are good."
Yeah.
But
Never did
what
it.
happens.
The first time that game was the first time we really had been in a elevated moment in a long, long time.
And come out on top.
Right.
Well, and I am sure that the example set from these seniors is something that is going to just continue to resonate.
Absolutely.
Through the classes that are coming up. So let's go through some names here, Guy. Garrett Morrell, who's a reserve lineman, senior. We've got Wyatt Petrie, who came in a wide receiver and really had some big plays for us at times.
Yep.
Big Alex Craig Miles down there on the line got injured and came back and contributed at the end of the year. Ty Brown, my gosh. You're talking the anchor of that offensive line. Another guy just level. Not too high, not too low.
He's about an even kill guy as I've ever seen.
And tough. He talking about he had one game where he was fighting through injuries the whole game and continued and continued and continued.
Yep.
Yeah, Owen Braswell, who played the whole season hurt.
Yeah.
But most folks didn't know it because he never showed it.
And probably the guy that probably calls most of the calls on the offensive line. He's kind of the anchor there.
James Herring, a reserve offensive lineman. Tommy Hires, who came on as that season came along now, 66. There were a couple of blocks, one that stuck out at Marist where he almost knocked a guy out of the stadium.
Sending flying. But you talking about somebody that plays from whistle to whistle.
Yes, sir.
Tommy Hires is the guy. I mean.
Yep. Logan Bell, another reserve lineman. Owen Petrie, who came in after Craig Miles was hurt, and it was seamless.
Yep.
No drop off.
Yep.
And just, again, a bunch of seniors. And Owen, just as good a young man as you're going to
And
find.
also your long snapper, too.
Yep.
And you talking about a high-pressure situation. He played a very complete season.
Absolutely.
Cam Jones, who came in and played that joker position some at times, and again filled in on the offensive line where needed. Cole Sneed, another backup offensive lineman. Jeremiah Brinson, a running back, a backup running back for us. Riley McDowell, that joker position, just a fantastic year, underappreciated, but my gosh, did he show out.
And another a whistle-to-whistle guy that just didn't let up.
Trey Brenton, and I want to say this: if you are a fan of our program and you are connected to any collegiate program whatsoever, somebody needs to be jumping on Trey Brenton. There is an opportunity there. I just don't understand, and I understand the portal mess, and I know that we got COVID years and everything. You're talking about a young man that between last year and this year has run for over 3,000 yards in Region 1 6A, the toughest region in the whole state.
Yep.
And Trey Brenton reminded me so much. Okay, the Jacket girls have won 58 or 50-28. That'll work.
That's a good game.
Definitely.
He reminds me, Jamie, more of Joe Burns than any running back we've ever had, because Joe had that innate ability as the game went along to get stronger and stronger. As everybody else was getting winded, Joe got better and better and better, and Trey Brenton is the exact same way.
Absolutely. And if you gave it to him 30 times, his best carry would be on number 30.
You're right.
He
You're
just
right.
gets lathered up as he goes,
Yeah, that Marist game at the end of it,
Right.
he took it over.
Absolutely.
The way his style of running is so unique, though, because when he first starts to run, he's so patient. He's not afraid to follow a block and just see where it goes. But then, like you say, towards the end of the game, he gets a little bit more aggressive because at that point he's got the defense kind of figured out. He knows what he can get away with.
They're a half step slower.
And it's like he is 2 seconds ahead of everybody else on the field.
It's like body blows, man.
Yeah.
Body blows.
Caleb Anderson,
I don't know what you could say about him.
heartbeat of the team.
Yeah.
Heartbeat of the team. I'm going to tell you guys, the ones that weren't able to go out to the celebration Tuesday night, we raised the run through up so the team could come through it one more time with the band playing the fight song. When Caleb came through that thing, I thought he was going to tackle me. I mean, I honest to goodness thought he was in game mode. Just a motor. I think he walks in the door at night and just collapses in a heap because
He'd have to.
He's running 90-0, and then anyway just turns the switch off.
Yep.
Walter Reddick, our MVP of the state championship game, had several sacks, a blocked punt, was dominant at times. And my gosh, he will end up playing on Saturday somewhere for sure.
Absolutely.
Hayden Morales. If you don't think a punter and special teams can make a difference, you didn't watch this team because there were so many times that Hayden flipped the field.
Yeah.
And his kickoffs all year long were just on point. Clayton Hutto. Of all the young men on this list, personally, I am more proud of Clayton Hutto than anybody else. He came into the broadcasting program as a freshman 3 years ago, and to be honest with you, I just didn't know if he would even be able to stay in the school. Just a lot going on there with that young man, but he has grown up and matured, not just as a football player, but as a young man, and I am so proud of him.
Me too. They was
And listen, played his rear end off too.
absolutely. By far, the most valuable or most improved,
No doubt.
DB that
No doubt.
the leaps and bounds that he made.
No doubt.
From 1 year to this year,
As good as we've ever had.
I just
Yep.
He got it.
He is a prime example of how football and coaching and a family unit can progress people as going from young men to men
Yep.
in just about a year's time. And just that right there is a testament of why we love football as much as we do. I mean, it is so
It builds character.
cool.
Builds character.
And Coach Cam Clark,
Yep.
Yeah.
my hat's off to him. He put a lot of time into him. And
Abe Smith out there at wide receiver. Abe had some big catches for us. Had a huge catch up there at Marist. I got a touchdown
He did.
pass at home in the playoffs. Jimmy Dawson down there on that line. Another fantastic year. To look at Jimmy, you wouldn't think that he would be an effective defensive lineman, but my gosh, good luck blocking him.
Oh, I remember thinking last year, like how he played last year, and of course this year was awesome. But when we started, it was like every other play we were saying Jimmy Dawson's
Yep.
name last year.
Somehow.
Me and you both looked at each other and said,
How?
What this kid? And all of a sudden it was like he. A lot of times he dictated which side of offense would favor to because he is so aggressive off the ball.
Zeke Bogan, the big nose guard down there. Zeke, everybody was concerned about that Javion Revels gap down there. Javion, the defensive player of the year last year for us, a big man. And when he graduated, we all kind of went, well, Zeke filled that spot wonderfully.
he done an awesome job.
And just a flat, good, quality young man, too. Yep. Devin Woodson, who would come in and spell folks at linebacker and down on the defensive line, number 8.
Yep.
Just a team guy and a fantastic player.
You know, you talk about in basketball, you'll have a player of the year that comes off the bench.
Yep.
He could easily be that for us because when he come in, that defensive line never missed a step, and he would make plays.
Yep. Taiwan Christopher, number 6, linebacker, but Taiwan would come up and play on the end sometimes. Sometimes he'd drop back into coverage. I called him the unicorn on that defensive team because he could play any position and play it as well or better than anybody else on the field. And I'm looking forward to seeing him play on Saturdays.
Absolutely.
Devin Ross, who would come in and played a fantastic year back there, defensive back, opposite of Hutto, had a big interception return up there. I think it was at Veterans. And just, again, a fantastic year for him. Hayden Krabanikov down at wide receiver had some spectacular catches. I know one that he had there at home that he had to kind of lay out across the field and caught the ball inside the one.
Yep.
Very dependable. Malachi Thomas. Again, a program guy. Coach Rogers arrived and said, we got to find a tight end. and he saw Malachi, this skinny kid, and about 6'1", 6'2" or so, and he said, "That's my guy." And they worked with him, and Malachi's a star.
And he is no longer a skinny kid, too.
No.
He is the poster child of our weightlifting program because you talking about a guy that put on some muscle? Man.
Yeah, I don't know what he's eating.
A lot.
Yeah.
I'm telling you that you talking about a guy that, and I can't wait to see him after a couple of years in college.
Oh, yeah,
my God.
absolutely.
He's going to be a monster.
Man.
He's such a quality young man.
Yep.
And then Chris Wilhelm, you talk about your utility man.
Yeah.
Whatever you needed him to do.
Yep.
He was going to do it to the best of his. And I'm going to tell you something. He had some big plays this year. Had a big catch up at Houston County
Yep.
to keep a drive alive. Came in against Rome in all places and completed a pass that ended up having a personal foul attached to it, but only because that pass was completed did we get the personal foul. So and again, just as top-notch a kid or young man as you're going to find, and he was the star of the award-winning Yellow Jacket Tailgate show this year on the radio too. Did a fantastic job. I'm trying to tell him he needs to go into sports broadcasting.
Yep.
But he may be too smart to do that. All these guys that went into media, you just you got another way of making a living. But just a tip of the cap to that senior class, guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Top notch. Okay, well, then again, that brings us to the next section where we're going to kind of look ahead a little bit. James Farley is asking. Oh, wait, and let me thank our sponsors one more time. I want to thank CNS Next. They are offering internet service up to 1 gig speed. They are your proud local service provider and proud supporters of Thomas County Central Yellow Jacket football. Curls Land Development. They do site prep, ponds, land clearing, mulching. Matt Mills, top-notch Yellow Jacket. His number is 221-2291, 221-2291 for Curls Land Development. Next Gen Window Tinting. You know this guy, don't you, Jamie?
Oh, yeah.
Grayson Tootin?
Great and tootin'. You darn tootin'.
You darn Tootin. 692-9393.
And if you're looking for a last-minute Christmas gift, he's got gift cards if you want to use window tinting as a Christmas gift.
That would not be a bad idea.
Absolutely.
Jason Lewis, always a proud Yellow Jacket supporter, business, home, or vehicle. Hometown folks, Jason Lewis with Lewis Insurance. And, of course, Southern Quality Propane. They are South Georgia, North Florida's local independent propane leader. Energy solutions to meet your needs at home, at work, and on the farm. 855-430-1099. Again, 855-430-1099. Thanks to these folks for making this possible.
I can tell you my forklift would not run without Southern Quality Propane. And I could not do my job without them. So
as the key guys for 2024 season. Oh, wait, I guess he's asking for the 5 key players.
on each side of the ball for this year.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes.
James, that's impossible. I mean, there's way more than 5. I mean, you could just say the offensive line.
Yeah.
If you wanted to do 5 guys, that's impossible. I mean, this literally, and I know I'm going to hack some of the old guard guys off. Is that Obadiah? Yeah, okay. I'm calling him James.
I know.
Sorry. Force of habit, number 13. I know I'm going to hack some of the old guard guys off, but I think this is arguably the most complete team we've ever had in our history, because there really was not a weakness anywhere, and there really wasn't a superstar anywhere. You had Cam Brooks, and you had D. Reddick, and you had those guys, and you had Brenton, but none of those guys were just by themselves. I mean, everybody through the course of every single game contributed.
Done their part.
Yeah.
Hey, can I stop you? You missed one senior, Alex Ward.
Oh my gosh. How in the world you want to talk about somebody? And I am actually, I wanted to actually point this out. We were talking about guys that have come the furthest. Alex Ward may be that guy, because they interviewed him back a couple of weeks ago for the tailgate show, and they were talking about where he was 2 years ago. About 180 pounds, 185 pounds. You know, I mean, he was not an offensive lineman, but he worked and worked and worked and worked and improved and improved and improved. And my gosh, just dominant. And just as good a kid, good a young man as you're going to find, good a family as you're going to find. And you'll see him playing on Saturday somewhere too. So, again, thank you for pointing that out.
Yeah.
My mistake. Just went by it. But I had actually wanted to make sure that I pointed him out, but I jumped him whenever I was talking about Ty Brown. But as far as the next season is concerned, guys, the good news is the cupboard is far from bare.
Well, I'll throw a question at you. Bryce Young, you ought to know him.
The
The one and only.
He asks, what player besides Jalen Johnson are you most excited about watching next year? Jalen is just an obvious answer, so no easy answers. I got my answer already.
Go ahead.
Jaden Rubo. That's my take.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Jamie?
I'm going to throw one out there that we didn't get to see a lot this year, but I know where the superstars are. Or I know where the stars
I know where he's headed to.
But I cannot wait to see a AJ, the running back.
Clark,
number 4,
AJ
Clark, healthy.
Yeah. Yep.
I cannot wait to see that young man healthy.
You're talking about speed, man.
That's the guy.
Yeah.
And I know we're going to be very good at running back. We're deep at running back.
Yeah.
But I want to see what that guy can do healthy. So
I'm going to say D. Reddick. I mean, you're talking about a young man, and I know that's kind of like saying, this pen's blue. I mean, it's pretty obvious.
Right.
But he is just so electric. And can you believe that we're sitting here talking about this, and none of us has said Cam Brooks,
well, I mean,
who could be the most dominant defensive player
Well,
we've ever
you
had.
could close your eyes
he
and just
said
do
not-
this.
Well, he said not to state the obvious.
Yeah, close your eyes and just pick one. I mean, that's the good news, guys. Is there's so much coming back.
Okay, if you want to talk about one that's coming up that I think that everybody will be very surprised to see, it's number 22.
Oh man, Amari Stevenson.
Amari Stevenson
Oh my
will
gosh.
probably be the guy
Yep.
that they have to ban from playing football.
Yep. He has all of the tools. There just was nowhere for him to get on the
Right.
field this year.
Right.
And just a sophomore.
Yep.
I'm going to tell you one that I know you're looking forward to seeing is Corchigan, the Mad Russian.
Absolutely. And I may be wrong. But
But you may be right.
Corchigan cannot be a center at 6'6", 280.
And he's still growing,
He's
Jamie.
probably going to be a tackle.
He's
Wouldn't you think?
He's a sophomore.
Yeah.
He's got to
mean-
be. And the thing is now, you're talking about a young man who is from Russia. I think he's got this collard green and cornbread in him, and now it's just taking off. I mean, he is becoming a physical beast.
We were down on the sideline during the championship game. He come off the field onto the sideline, and he was speaking to the other team in Russian.
And there ain't no telling what he was saying.
Nope.
Well, and let me say
I
this.
want to know.
Well, yeah, you're right. You're right. The offensive line, the reserve offensive linemen that came into the games against the other team starters now, I mean, not late in the fourth quarter. We're talking middle of the third quarter in a lot of these games. Guys, the drop-off was almost unnoticeable.
Yeah, it was. We scored. We got first downs. They done everything they were supposed to do.
They ran the offense.
And I think we had a freshman running back.
Well, yeah,
go over 150 yards.
Yeah, that was Kobe Carnage.
in a football game.
Yep,
So,
14,
I mean,
Kobe Carnage. I know. Well, you've got a lot coming back on defense, but, I mean, there is a lot being lost. Your entire
Absolutely.
offensive line, as far as your starters are concerned, you're going to have to find somebody to replace Malachi at tight end. We've talked about this. There's going to have to we're going to find that bruiser running back. We're going to have to find that physical running back because AJ is a speedster. Ahmad. Now, Ahmad's Ahmad.
He's physical
Now,
now.
he's physical.
Well, and give him another year.
Yeah, that's true.
You give
That's
him
true.
this offseason, and Joseph Helton said, Ahmad Ponder, we were talking about who we could see at 23 or
Agreed.
24.
Yep, agreed.
You give him another offseason. I'm going to tell you what, he's already hard to tackle. He puts on a little bit more mass. You ain't going to tackle him. That's all there is to it.
Let me say this, and I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm going to. Potentially the best class that we have ever had, Eugene Brooks, Joe Burns, Leonard Guyton, Smokey Robinson, the best class we have ever had is coming from the 8th grade in the middle school. And there is Trayvon Pringle's quote-unquote little brother, who
not
is
little.
a physical anomaly. who is a running back, linebacker, whatever.
But it don't stop there.
No, I know.
There's great linemen. There's great.
The whole class is loaded, but
There's 78 players in the class.
you will see some of those ninth graders as starters. They're that good. They are that good. And Coach Rogers doesn't like playing ninth graders, but he has said it's going to be very difficult to keep some of those guys off the field. The best news is, folks, and we're to wrap this up, or what we're talking about, you go from the current senior class all the way down to that eighth grade class. It's stacked. And I know that's saying a lot, and I don't want to make it sound like we're overblowing it, but it is what it is.
Well, it seems, talent comes in peaks and valleys a lot of
does.
times. But as talented as you are right now, you're on this side of the mountain.
Yep.
You're not even up here yet. So you've got a chance, really, with the talent that you've got lined up to make not just a run, but runs plural.
Yeah.
No, we're going to need that next year going against some of these state championship
Oh, man.
teams that we're about to play.
Well, we're going
Coach
to talk
Rogers,
about that, too.
And Coach Rogers talked a lot about when he got here that it was going to be very important that he develop depth.
Mm-hmm.
And you're starting to see that
Yep.
because a lot of kids got to play this year.
Well, it's very unusual to see that type of rotation
Absolutely.
with high school guys, but it's a good spot to be in. And number-wise, again, huge classes as far as the number of players are concerned.
Yeah.
Casey brings up a good point. We will be going into a new classification next year. Instead of 6A, it will be 5A. 3 of your current state champions will be in that classification: Milton, Thomas County Central, and Coffee County. And Coffee County and Thomas County Central will be in the same region. So it will be like the Southeastern Conference.
Well, and you
Nothing
talk
against the ACC, but it's going to be like the mini SEC.
our region, if you go from a 10-year span, 4 out of the 6 teams have won a state championship.
That's crazy.
4 out of the 6 teams. Northside, Lee County, us, and Coffee County.
Obadiah is asking about a backup quarterback. There's some coming. Again, there's several, and I think that you'll. There's not going to be anybody that's going to be able to fill in like Jalen Johnson. I mean, Jalen has emerged as a potential generational type quarterback for us. It'll be the first time since 2015 that Coach Rogers has been able to work with a quarterback for consecutive years. So as much as we saw him grow this year, you may see him grow even more as a player next year with that type of guidance and leadership. So the sky is the limit. But as far as backups and stuff for each of these positions, I'm not worried about it.
Well, and the thing about it is depth-wise, you almost have to have an individual bus for every position.
Yeah, you're right.
Your quarterback room is going to be stacked.
You're right.
The quarterback situation
It's good.
it's really good. We've got some really quality guys behind Jalen, and that will be. I was thankful that we did have the experience with Wilhelm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he was able to come in there and
Calm
calm
down.
everybody down.
Yep.
But the Coach Joe Thornton, he does a great job down there with those guys, and I don't see that being a big problem. If I don't want Jalen to go down, I don't even want to talk about that.
Yep.
But if we need to get another quarterback in the game because Jalen's thrown so many touchdowns, and I mean we got guys that can come in and play.
Well, I'll say J.B. Watkins came in several times
he
through the
did.
course of the year and looked good.
Well, JB's been moved to wide receiver,
And then
that's where he could get on the field quicker.
Yep. And also Peyton Roundtree came in and played
Absolutely.
some too.
Also,
So,
somebody just said something about Peyton
Yep.
Roundtree about
Yep.
possible.
And got Hester.
Yep.
He's about 6'2". He's a big boy too now.
Well, there's a lot coming back. We're losing a lot, but there's a lot coming back, especially with your skill guys. Running backs are going to be solid. Of course, again, got to find that bruiser down there. He's going to be able to get those tough yards like Brenton has done. But you've got Trayvon Pringle coming back. You've got Jay Jones coming back. You've got Jalen Johnson coming back. We mentioned A.J. Clark. There's a lot coming back. So it's awesome. And let's mention to Drew Renault.
Yeah.
You're talking a young man. I mean, he single-handedly pretty much won that Rome game. Let's just be honest here.
Yep.
And To have a and by the way, yeah, the Jacket Boys are leading 24-18 at the half.
Hey, okay.
That's awesome. But to have a proven commodity coming back at place kicker, that is so big. So big.
At the high school level, the kicker may be one of the hardest positions to fill.
No doubt. No doubt.
Coach Wilson's done a good job getting those guys
Yeah,
ready.
he has.
Well, he was pretty good himself now.
I think so. His daddy wasn't too bad.
Yeah. Todd Wilson, straight on kicker. Gavin Wilson came along, and he was a fantastic kicker for us, too.
Like
And
Wilhelm said, he was a sidewinder.
But Gavin is now the special teams with the place kicking coach, the kicking coach for us, and those of you who know Gavin.
Yep.
One more time, I want to thank the sponsors, CNS Next, Curls Land Development, Next Gen Window Tinting, Lewis Insurance, and Southern Propane. And guys, as we get ready to wrap it up, if you've got any other questions now, Casey, go ahead and throw them out if they've got anything.
I don't have anything yet.
Well, we want to thank y'all. And when I say y'all, we're going to do it Southern here. That's all y'all. That's the plural of y'all now.
Y'all?
Yeah, we want to thank all y'all for being so faithful and dedicated to not only the program but to our radio broadcast. We hear from you guys constantly, and the folks that are listening worldwide. It's just so humbling, Brian. We were talking about that during the course of the year. All of the places that we found out that we had people
listening and watching.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so cool. And I've been asked, and somebody asked earlier, today was my last day as a full-time employee of the Thomas County school system. I am officially retired from the teaching profession and all that stuff, but as far as the games are concerned, if they'll continue to let me, it's fun. I mean, we're having fun. We're having fun.
Absolutely.
And I'm gonna try to get a couple more anyway. We'll see.
I'll have him in the headlock if he don't.
Well, it's just fun. I mean, and I'll admit now, and we talked about this. I mean, the handful of years we were fighting trying to get to this point, there were times where you thought, why in the world are we? But again, it's fun. And as long as it's fun, it's all good. Yep. And I want to thank that guy down there on the end. Casey Massey is kind of the shadow that is behind all of this stuff, like this live stream thing here tonight, all of our live stream broadcasts that you guys have been able to tune into on the internet video-wise, and then, of course, helping us make sure that all of our radio stuff is working correctly so that you can listen to the live stream of the radio
football
broadcast.
Equipment for coaches to watch their film.
I mean, I'm just saying, this guy is invaluable, and I'm just thrilled to have him as part of the team. And my gosh, again, we had a lot of opportunity on some of these long road trips for some legendary conversations that will stay amongst this group.
Absolutely.
For the
Just gonna
better.
say that.
For the better.
And I also want to thank Riley Martin.
Yes.
Riley is a product of the broadcasting department, like most of these two guys down here are. And Riley did a fantastic job capturing this year with his photography. Walter Jones, who was another broadcasting alum, did a good job. Of course, Lori Loring, she's just as consistent as the day is long.
Yep.
But between the three of those, it was incredible the amount of depth of coverage that we had. And I also want to thank Chris White. Chris, who is another broadcasting department alum, did all of the game day videos, and he has sunk himself into the social media side of stuff for Thomas County Central football. And I will tell you, when you combine what you've got available on the radio, when you combine what you've got video-wise inside our stadium, when you combine video-wise what you've got with our live stream, with our kids running the cameras just like ESPN does it, and then you take all the social media stuff on top of it, I'm not bragging here. Thomas County Central's kicking rear end as far as all the media stuff is concerned. And I'm very, very proud that most of those pieces of that puzzle have come through our department over there at the high school. Very special. Very special.
So I got one question.
What's that?
What are you going to do on your first day of retirement?
I'm sleeping. I'm sleeping
After
in.
this season, I would expect so.
I'm sleeping in.
You don't want to drive another 4 hours to a football game somewhere?
No, I'm good.
So you getting up about 7:30?
I'll get up about 7:30 instead of 6. That's right.
I'll give you a call.
But guys, thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Brian.
Yep.
It's just so much fun.
Thank you for having us, man.
Man, shoot.
And we're just the little pawns.
Yeah.
Oh, get out of town. Everybody's got their role. Everybody.
I mean, Jamie, you're at least a rook. I mean,
Yeah.
you know.
But
Thanks, Brian.
Hey, how many years have you been doing this, Jamie?
I don't know.
I think it's about 20 now, close to it.
It's so awesome that it don't matter.
Yeah, I'm with you.
It ain't no citizen counting. I enjoy every year.
Yeah, no doubt. And Brian, this is year 7 for you. Is that correct?
Hey, that's so hard to believe.
That is unreal.
Yeah. This was season 7. Next year will be season 8. So.
And what are you? 37?
37. Yeah. 1986 with Charlie Ward Jr., who was a backup quarterback to start the season, which everybody hears that and goes, "What?"
Yep.
Sure was.
But Charlie, Charlie never really got hurt in football. No. All his injuries came in basketball.
Yeah. And and I don't know if Junior's going to hear this or not, but I want to thank him because all year long I kept showing Brian Davis during every single game he was coaching from home, sending me texts. Look at that guy on the line over there to the right. What are we doing? Why are we throwing the ball on that side of the field? And I'm like, Junior, get your rear end over here. Come up here. What are you doing? Just come coach.
He knows what he's doing. Nobody can discredit that.
Well, Junior coming to the stadium this year for the Lee County game and doing
cool.
the poster signings and the photographs with everybody for the 30th anniversary of the high. Who else can do that but Thomas County Central High School? Nobody. Nobody. There is nobody. Anyway, very special, guys, and a special year. And to all the players, your parents, your families, the coaches, and your families, thank y'all so much for a year that will go down in history as perhaps the greatest one ever. And the standard that was set last year by Sam Brown and Ricky Fulton and Tyler Floyd and Javion Rebels, and all, you guys have taken that bar and now raised it up yourself.
Yep.
And I know that the guys coming behind you from this point forward, when they run onto that field and they see that 2023 up on that championship sign, all of those things that you have established, they're going to reflect it. And we just thank you for it. And to the Jacket Nation, the fans, you guys are I'm not going to say you guys because that makes me sound like I'm from Illinois. Y'all are incredible. Incredible. The best fan base in the state, if not the nation. And I, again, just salute you and just proud to be a part of it.
Just a great community effort.
Yeah,
awesome.
no doubt.
Awesome.
Guys, Merry Christmas.
Well, now, before this, you need to tell people, are we going to do this again next year?
Yeah, I've already seen a question up there.
So
there's a possibility, quote unquote, that some sports media stuff will be something I may be doing, but can't officially talk about that right now. Yeah. But yes, this is going to become something that we're going to do regularly, and I think everybody enjoys it. And again, I just appreciate everybody tuning in and being a part of it. It's fantastic. It's special. Guys, let's get out of here. What's that?
I love the last question. Go ahead and read that one.
Friday Night Lights, Thomas County style from Barwick, Boston, Oclotney, and Meigs. Everywhere Yellow Jackets. And Pocket, Illinois. Well, sorry. It is Illinois. That's
the way we do it.
It's not Oclotney.
I got
to do it, Brian.
I got something I got to do. Hey, see, this really caught on this year. I'm gonna tell you what. But to everyone that wants to hear it, get you some of that.
Hey, and I want to tell you guys, the Radio Crew shirts that Paul Prince has done with all of those sayings on the back. I don't know how many of those things they've sold, but if you want
at least more than one,
there's no question.
Well, you're not wrong.
You're not.
I bought two.
If you want one of the shirts that's got all of the get you some of that and say a prayer, Thomas County, and well, let me tell you, Randy. I mean,
just what the doctor ordered. That is by far my favorite thing that you. That's so awesome to me.
That's just what the doctor ordered.
Well, because I grew up hearing it.
Yeah, I know. It's cool. But if you go to Paul Prince, and I think they have a Facebook page, those shirts are available. And you can get them. You're not going to be able to get them in time for Christmas, but you can still get you one. And they've got all kinds of stuff down there. So and we want to thank them. And again, I want to thank the sponsors one more time. What are you going to say?
I was going to say you can get you one and get you some.
And get you some of that. That's right. CNS Next. Thank y'all so much for sponsoring this. They are your proud local service provider. Curls Land Development, Site Prep Ponds. I almost said blondes. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. Land clearing and mulching. Matt Mills, 221-2291, 221-2291. Next Gen Window Tinting, Grayson Tootin. Get darn tootin'. 692-9393. Jason Lewis, Lewis Insurance. business, home, or vehicle. Hometown folks, they'll take care of you, Jason Lewis. And again, Southern Quality Propane. They are South Georgia, North Florida's local independent propane leader. 855-430-1099. Guys, thank y'all so much. Thank y'all so much. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. And one more time, go Jackets.